Hello, Collective. Welcome back to Infinite Light and Love 888. I am Juka. You are welcome here. Welcome if this is your first time or if you are returning. I am just lighting some Palo Santo here to call in energies for your reading. It's sparking a lot. It's creating a lot of sparks. I feel like that's part of the message here. Maybe you can hear that as it's lighting. Interesting. Maybe I can kind of show you here. Oh, see? It's sparking. I feel like something is getting ready to light up or spark within you. Oh, yeah. See? Definitely feels like a part of the message. This is reminding me of a birthday candle, just the way that's lit. I feel like, well, this is part of the message that I have written down about a new journey. So starting something new. Just as I looked up, it was 1:17 on the timer. So I just finished a reading. I'm doing 2 or 3 here to schedule out for a few days. And the reading that I just did, it feels like this is connecting now. Prior to sitting down here to do this one, uh, it was unsure how this was connecting. It's starting to formulate now. So I feel like that's part of the message, that sometimes it just takes one step to do something, and then other things will fall right in place. Okay. So if you didn't see the reading prior, it had to do with, there's messages from the ethers, and then there's the message of your current reality and how these emotions are playing a part, and shadow came up a lot. So the message that I have written down for here, I'm going to call this one number 2. And I will put that in the descriptions of how they all correlate. The message here is about, for this current time, well, not just this current time. This is a timeless reading. If you are watching this and it resonates, it's your message, okay? But it's a message about retrograde, or reflecting on something from your past. And the message that I got is that retrograde is helpful in this time because it brings up reminders of past energies. And I'm also, as I say that, I'm getting past emotions. And the reason for this is to kind of go back and look at something, a situation, a relationship, an experience, whatever that may be for you, to go back and look at something, to see it from a different light, from your new perspective that you've stepped into, because this definitely feels like after a growth period, that you have had some form of growth period. And as you look back on it, it allows you to soften emotions that were once held around that situation or experience or person. Maybe something ended poorly and there was still this kind of anger or revenge or irritation or some type of a low vibration that was held. And it's by going back and looking at it from this new perspective, it's a softening of those edges, okay? And so, like, looking at hard times and just softening the edges, it feels like sanding it down, smoothing it out a little bit so that it's not so rough and hard and jagged. Jagged is the word I'm hearing. And it's saying your shadows and other people's shadows may be speaking to you. So there's definitely discernment between the two. And then I got the image of an astronaut. I got the phrase interstellar, which could be the movie. I have not watched yet. It's come up for me so many times. I'm just going to have to make time to watch this movie because it's come up so many times in my personal life. And then that this is preparing you for the spring equinox. And in this spring equinox, it is opening up a new journey. So there's something about your past journey holding great value for you as you step into this new cycle. Possibly a 10-year cycle because of something that came out, a penny came out that was 2015. And so this 10, 11-year cycle, because we've just crossed into 2026. So something about that. It feels like a 10-year cycle has ended. We're stepping into this new, and something of our past could be within that 10 years, could be farther back, is helping us navigate this new space, this new time, this new path. That horn honking out there, it honked 4 times that I was aware of. So 4 to me represents stability, a stronger foundation, a firmer foundation. And so as I sat down here to clear the energy and prepare for this reading, the cards that came out were the shadow and the offering. I mean, it just couldn't be any more clear. The shadow has some very valid information that it's offering you for this new beginning. And it also feels like this offering the shadow the opportunity to speak up, to talk, holding space for perhaps someone else's shadow, holding space for your own. And it definitely has this feeling of moon phases. We have the moon here again, this crescent moon. We just had the full moon, so crescent moon would be coming into that time period of the spring equinox. I am not 100% sure. I want to say around the 17th is the new moon. But again, this is timeless. Whenever this next phase is, it's starting for you. The numbers 8 and 4, those 4 honks, and I'm just seeing that this is 4 here, 14. Eight, 28. And then on the bottom of the deck, the mentor and the owl. The owl came out in the last reading as well. So it definitely feels like there is some thread between these. And interesting enough is that coming out of this darkness, this hand reaching out, right? And reaching into this very colorful time, which these are very spring-like colors. It feels like a new beginning. They look like flowers. Pink flowers with a dark spot in the middle. So that feels like taking some sort of a shadow, a dark energy, and creating something new with it, blooming something from it. Okay. So what is it you would like the collective to know here? This retrograde. Reminders of past energies for the purpose of softening emotions during these hard times. Spirit, for the highest good of the collective, what is it you would like them to know surrounding this retrograde or reflection time period that they're going through? Bottom of the deck, we have 8 of emotions. We had 8 come up here. So the self. This feels like some sort of an infinite life change. Stepping into this new beginning. I mean, if you think about it, we're constantly stepping into a new beginning, right? With each new day, all along the same path. We have the star. Again, we have this dark center and light around it. Something from the shadow coming to the light to heal, to soften those edges in order for things to turn around, to change, to shift in a positive way. 9 of voices, 9 of swords, something that's been bugging you, something that possibly you think about a lot or dream about a lot. Interesting, I said there seems to be a thread that runs in to this reading. And she's literally holding on to this red thread. Whatever it is you're going to find in these shadow moments. This also, down here, you see someone laying down and asleep. This could definitely be meditative states as well. Something you're going to discover. The astronaut. It's a discovery that you're going to find somewhere you've not gone before. A depth you've not traveled before. I'm seeing that this can be in the heart space, in the unconscious, going farther into the unconscious spaces within us. And then I'm also picking up with interstellar. I'm also picking up, this could be some sort of astral travel, astral light coming forth with information. That third eye. Opening of your imagination, opening of the dream state, opening up to exploring something new in a meditative state or dream state. And alone, she's out here walking across the desert by herself. But I don't get the sense of lonely. This just feels like solitude. This just feels like sovereignty. That stronger foundation within you. Yeah, and underneath that, the 9 of Pentacles, 9 of materials. You're gaining some type of information, knowledge, wisdom from something that felt like a loss. And I'm hearing the shadow has the secrets. The shadow has the secrets. This could, you may want to check out where your Scorpio placements are. Because I'm sensing it could have something to do with the houses of the zodiac sign. What is that? Scorpio is, let me double check before I say it and say the wrong one. Scorpio. Where are you? Wherefore art thou, Scorpio? Why am I seeing everything but Scorpio? Okay, there's a message here. This is something about, it's very deep. It's very hidden. Okay, it's the 8th house. 8th house. Shadow. Check what your 8th house is and check your Scorpio placements. I feel like one of the two of those is going to resonate for you, and it's going to offer some information for you. Something about opening your imagination, opening this dream space, opening to new healing. Okay? What do you want the collective to know? About the shadow and this offering? What does the shadow want to say? What does the shadow want to talk about? Had 2 that flipped. We have unveil the truth and fresh opening. Unveiling the truth surrounding this 8th house. Unveiling a truth. Okay. And then what came out? Embrace what is. Okay, so this is about accepting something, a part of yourself, a part of someone else, because we had here your shadows and others' shadows are speaking to you. There's a fresh opening, a fresh start, healing something because you learn a truth. And that's what's going to shift everything. Definitely these moon phases. We have the moon here all the way around this card. We have the moon here. We have the moon here. We have self-mistrust. Self-doubt is holding you back from progress. Don't let fear dictate your future. You have the ability to break through these obstacles, and now is the time to free yourself and move toward your goals. Go with the flow. Maybe a deep down sense that you don't trust yourself. 4, the stability, the foundation. This is rebuilding trust in yourself. And perhaps there's others in your experience who has that same sense of self-mistrust, and their shadow is talking to your shadow. Your shadows are having a conversation. And there's something about discerning this and, being able to have great compassion for someone else's shadows. Are you having the same compassion for yourself? And embrace what is. A recent disappointment may leave you feeling helpless, but remember, this is just one closed door. You're being guided towards another door that will open soon, leading you to a path that's better suited for you. And what did I say about that? The spring equinox, this new journey. So a cycle is closing, and it may feel really wonky because if you've been doing this for the past 10 years, or if you've repeated a 10-year cycle for 20 or 30 or 40 years, it could feel really strange that you've gotten out of that, and now you're like, well, now what do I do? What now? And they're saying, go with the flow. Work through this mistrust. Give yourself grace. This is a fresh opening. Now there's 2 that hesitated here. Discovery and learn the lesson. Look, he's scuba diving, but it reminds me of that astronaut. Learn the lesson. You're going in deeper to unveil some truth about yourself, about your journey, about someone else, a relationship, why you've been in this cycle. It's your discovery. It's for you to find out, okay? And look, he's found the treasure deep within, underwater. So the subconscious, deep in that unconscious space that we don't even recognize is happening. Okay. All of a sudden, I'm feeling very excited. Flexibility is on the bottom. I feel that goes along with that go with the flow. Things are different. And being okay with the change. Being okay in that space where you feel weird. You don't quite know where you're going. You feel out of balance. But it's just one step at a time. With all of the moon energy out here, let's get a message from the Moonology deck. These phases that we're going through. This is a whole new phase. You're going through a similar phase in a whole new different way or manner or mindset. So be patient with yourself. Give yourself grace. Give others grace. Okay. From the Moonology deck, what do you want the collective to know here? This retrograde. These reminders and softening the edges. I'm hearing softening the shadows. Balance spirituality and practicality, which is super interesting because the other reading, like I said, we had the ethers and we had reality. So definitely still this thread here. Nothing is yet set in stone. Mutable moon. Go with the flow. So we are in Pisces. I feel like this 8th house, whatever you're seeing or learning there, allow yourself to go there. Allow yourself to flow. And then, in a very logical way, what's the lesson I can take from here? Because we had learned the lesson. I think I put them back in. Learn the lesson. So we have emotions, right? And we can't ignore them. But we can just set them over here for now, right? We can just set it to the side and say, okay, as soon as I'm finished with this, I'll come back. But for now, I'm going to focus logically. And what can I learn from this situation? And then when you find that lesson, you come back over here to pick up these emotions again, you might recognize that some of those emotions have eased, or a clarity in why you feel that way. Anything else from the Moonology deck? Be bold, make the first move. Cardinal moon. So very interesting. We have a mutable moon and a cardinal moon. That's that flexibility. So those hard edges. Saturn has made a big shift. This is softening those hard edges. Finding stability without being so stern or rigid. We can be stable. I'm thinking about a boat. It rocks back and forth. That does not mean it's unstable. It floats. It goes with the flow. So in this time that you may feel yourself wobbling, it doesn't mean put all your walls up and absolutely don't do anything. It's learning, getting your sea legs, allowing yourself to be okay as things flow, okay? And releasing that rigidity. We have conclusions are within reach. Full moon eclipse. We just had 2 eclipses. Something's definitely being illuminated. And this came out reversed. And it feels like that conclusion has happened. And now, as you step into this new, you're like, you know, the baby deer or the baby giraffe taking its first steps. And it's kind of like, oh, it's that kind of an energy I'm feeling. And our strongest mentor. comes from within. The cave, the shadow. The shadow is here to support us, to protect us. And how can we get to know our shadow better and work together as the shadow has a fear and it comes out? How do we support that? And when we feel out of sync, noticing how the shadow, will try to protect us, and how can we better get along, love and nurture our own shadow and other shadows. Because I feel like there's a lot of people out here in that wobbly space right now. There's been a lot of change. What else do you want the collective to know here about this? About the shadow. I have a deck down here. This is the Shadow and Light Oracle. And let's just see. What else is the shadow offering here? It just feels like a very opportune time that the moon energies are at a great point as we've just gone through the full moon. So these emotions are releasing, and that it's a great opportunity to go inward, to discover this new side of ourselves or new sides of others. It feels very vulnerable, and it also feels very loving, in that it deepens the connection with not only ourselves but with others. Gratitude and indulgence is on the bottom. What do we have here? Sadness or anger, and freedom or sacrifice. I'm really picking up on this. Look, we have the moon again. What you've gone through, you may be carrying a lot of sadness from a situation. Let's say that this is a relationship between you and someone else. And that one experience, you carry a lot of sadness from that experience. The other person could be carrying a lot of anger. It's expressed in two different manners, but technically it's all from the same situation. And their anger might make you sad, or your sadness might make them angry. There's something there about how these shadows are all interacting with others. And I feel like this is card 22 and 28. Again, 2 and 8, that's 10 with this 10-year cycle again. I feel like this card, there's something for us to see here. Most of us like to think of ourselves as free. We have the right and ability to choose how we live our lives. But even so, a lot of people feel stuck in the situation that they're in and only dream about where they wish to end up. You might feel like you can't leave your job even if you aren't happy there, or that you can't move to a different place or look the way you wish. or even travel as much as you want or where you want to. This is because freedom doesn't always come for free. True freedom, rather than just being able to do anything you want, is being able to choose what to sacrifice in order to live the life that you want. If you can afford to sacrifice your job, you're free to leave your current one. If you have time and energy to sacrifice to go and work out, you could have the body that you wish. Or if you are prepared to sacrifice your current security, you could perhaps travel anywhere you wanted. This card encourages you to think about the things in your life that at the moment you feel you cannot sacrifice in order to have the freedom that you want. It is also to think about the things that you wish for and see what sacrifices are necessary to make this happen. What are the steps that you need to take in order to gain the freedom that you dream of? So, what are you willing to do to get that dream life? You may not be able to leave that job for the ultimate job you have. However, are you able to take that one step and look for an intermediate job? One that gets you out of this situation that you can't maybe get fully. Maybe you're not qualified for this, what you truly want. But if you took this interim job, you would learn some of the things that you need for the ultimate job that you want. How can you step? What steps can you take? Are you willing to sacrifice anything to get there? Is there something you would sacrifice to get there? You know, I mean, that could be as simple as, are you willing to eat out 3 times a month instead of 4? Are you willing to make your own coffee at home and not spend $5-7 a day getting your coffee on the way to work? It's just things like that. Is there something you can do? And are there things that you're just not willing to sacrifice yet? And if that's true, that's okay. It's understanding and accepting that. You're unveiling the truth, right? Unveiling a truth. And, I put it back. It was that acceptance. What steps can I take now? What steps might I take in the future? You're in charge, and you're laying a new foundation for yourself so that you can trust yourself. If you constantly set goals that are only wishes, only dreams, then it's going to be challenging, more of a challenge, to take steps to get there. But what if you can say, okay, that's a 5-year goal. My 1-year goal is this, and what steps can I take to get there? Because you know you're getting there. It's just not not doing anything because you're like, oh, well, I'll never be able to reach that. Where these tiny little habits, changes, shifts, microscopic perhaps. Maybe it's like, 10 minutes a day, stretching, working out, maybe do some squats, just 10 minutes a day before you jump in the shower. Something to that effect that helps you reach a goal. Reading a book, downloading an audio book, so that you could listen to it on the way to work instead of just music all the time. Music is great. We get a lot of messages through music, but maybe on your way to work, you listen to music, and on the way home, you listen to a podcast. I don't know, something to that effect. It looks like during this time that feels very unstable, what little micro changes can you do that's going to help you get to reach those ultimate goals? Because nothing's set in stone yet. You're the one creating this. All right, collective, that is what I have for you. I'm going to leave this here. I know there's a third message coming out that's going to follow this, and I will see you in that one. Until then, go out there and lead with love. Bye now.